So I'm Brandon Waits. I'm one of the elders here at the Bridge. And when I think about my story and how I came to faith in Christ, honestly, that's always been a topic that has not been my favorite, if I'm being honest, because I've never felt like it was super special or stood out in a lot of ways. I think part of that, growing up in the church, I heard so many inspiring, great stories about people who made a dramatic turn in their lives and maybe had a lot of years of living apart from Christ and then had a dramatic turnaround and just one day had something happen that opened their eyes to the gospel and they got saved, and it was an amazing transformation. Those are awesome stories and I was inspired by them, but I think in some ways I took up a message of maybe there's nothing that special about mine. When I was 6 years old, I remember going to a Assembly of God play, which we grew up Southern Baptist, so I don't remember exactly why we were going to this, but it was called The Toy Maker's Dream, and it was just basically a metaphor of the toy maker making these toys, and they kind of messed up his kingdom, and he had to send his only son down as a toy to redeem everything, and they tortured him and killed him. And anyway, it clicked for me at 6 years old that wow, that's me. I'm those other toys. I'm the one that's messing everything up, and I'm a sinner and I need salvation by grace through faith. And so I did an altar call and got saved through that process. So I think through that too, that kind of taught me that Christianity is a lot bigger than my little sliver of Protestantism, and that God uses lots of different types of people and denominations and things like that to share the gospel and make an impact in people's lives. But what I've realized kind of over time is that, growing up in a Christian family, parents that both love the Lord, no family is perfect, of course, but relatively like healthy family and loving environment, go to church a lot, them discipling me and teaching me about Jesus and the Bible stories as a young kid and all of that really is kind of an ancient tradition in a lot of ways. And so if you think about it, God's primary strategy for discipleship and evangelism has always been to use families to disciple their own kids. So it's just always, it's a really cool ancient thing to be a part of, to say, hey, that's a very meaningful, great way to know Christ too. That's going to have its own challenges. So that really helped me see, I guess, my story in a different light and see it as something that, I wanted for my kids too, and something that I know Lori and I both seek to do with our own kids, some days better than others, but just trying to disciple them and teach them the gospel truth that's been passed down to us and pass it down to them and keep the tradition going. That's really part of something bigger than just me and my individual story. To anybody out there that's kind of trying to figure out their own journey and their own story in Christ, or maybe they're uncertain about if they want to trust in Jesus, that's one, it's the most important thing you could ever do is to submit your life to Christ, that you won't regret it. But if you're kind of struggling with your story, whether that's someone like myself that's kind of felt like in the past, like, well, what's so special about my story? It seems kind of common. Or if your story is more of a dramatic conversion, a massive turnaround where you've had many, many years living apart from Christ and now you're feeling ashamed because you've got many memories of being in sin and things like that, that every one of our stories is important and is an opportunity to bless other people if we can really learn to see it in a new light and see it as something bigger than just us, but something that Jesus is working in us and through us, and salvation is from him. So it's ultimately not really just about us, but about what he's doing through us to bring the world to himself. And so that would be my encouragement to others, is just to see your story as a blessing, really understand where your faith journey has come from, and then share that with others as something that you can be confident in, because it's something that really is authored by Christ.